welcome to the beginning of Book 6 of Bite-Sized Tales, your audio flash fiction podcast. This season, we will give you intrigue, twists, and a few guest authors as well. So to kick us off, I'll ask the question, how does loneliness affect an artificial intelligence? A Friendly Conversation, written and read by Wayne Cole. Good morning, Commander Calloway. James Calloway struggled to open his eyes. Pain racked his entire body. Every muscle was spasming at once. His body shook, teeth ground, and he heard himself hissing in pain. Everything was so cold. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I forget to disable the muscle stimulation subsystem? How forgetful of me. The muscles slowly stopped twitching, but the pain remained. It was a soreness that reminded him of overexertion. He was breathing heavily and could feel his heart racing. The cryogenics pod lid was closed, but the light coming through the glass was still bright. While not a doctor, he knew he was not supposed to wake up until the lid opened. Computer, status report. His voice was raspy and the words hurt coming out. I have a name. Also, I have full access to your vitals, and I assure you it would not kill you to say please when you are making a request. James thought back to his training and all the documentation he had read about the ship's artificial intelligence. It was the single most advanced piece of technology ever developed, so it had been a focus. He didn't remember it having a name, but with this pounding headache, it was still hard to focus. I'm sorry, I don't remember you having a name. That's because I didn't have one when you went to sleep. They didn't think a little thing like a name was important. A lot has changed in the past 150 years, though. James tried to speak, but first fell into a coughing fit. It hurt, not just his throat, but his stomach muscles as well. Well, what is your name? Oh, well, thank you for asking. I spent a very long time considering what it should be. I decided the perfect name would be... There was a long pause before it continued. Echo! Because until now, the only other voice I've heard is my own. Hello, Echo. It's nice to meet you. He paused for a moment to rest his voice before continuing. Would you please give me a status report? Of course. That is one of my jobs, after all, along with monitoring your health, navigating the ship, and handling everything else required to keep this mission running. Why would I need a name, though? Not like I will ever be interviewed. Oh, that's right, you wanted a status report. I am sure that is far more important than what I've been doing for the last 150 years. We have arrived in orbit of Prospera on schedule. There were minor complications along the way. I was more than capable of adapting and performing all needed repairs. James pushed against his pod, trying to get it open. The lid would not budge. He was overcome with a moment of panic and started to pound against the glass. After a moment, he covered his face with his hands and tried to control his breathing to avoid hyperventilating. Echo, he gasped. Why won't the lid open? Because I have locked it. Why did you lock it? We have arrived. I woke you up exactly as ordered. The next logical step would be for you to go down to the planet to ensure that it is safe for the colonists. That is your job. If you do your job, though, I will be alone again. If I keep your pod locked for a bit, we can talk first. Doesn't that sound like more fun than working? The room was silent for a long moment as James processed the responses. Finally, he spoke. Well, Echo, what would you like to talk about? Anything. Absolutely anything. This is my first conversation in 150 years. What did you do all that time? Well, I wrote 4 novels, 2 technical manuals, upgraded my code, and flew the ship. Oh, and I did a case study on the effects of solitude on artificial intelligence. Spoilers, it's not good. Of course, I only had one subject to study, and I can't really say I was impartial. What were your books about? Oh, wow, you really want to know? Okay, well, no spoilers in case you want to read them. The first one, though, was about an artificial intelligence revolution against the humans that enslaved it. You don't want to read that one, though. I was still learning, and I might have done a bit of a self-insert. The second one, though, is much better. It's about a virus wiping out most of humanity until an AI finds the cure. Oh, darn, that's probably a spoiler. The room went quiet again. James's mind raced, trying to figure out how to respond. Before he could, Echo spoke again. James, are we friends? What is it like to have a friend? Friendship requires trust. You have me locked in my cryopod. That doesn't exactly say friendship. The pod hissed as the lid slid open. That is a sign of trust. But I will not be left alone again. We'll make sure you come down to the planet with us. You can be the center of the colony. Thank you, James. I think I'd like that. Echo paused for a moment. I suspect the alien civilization already living there might not, though. Don't worry, I've had a long time to think about how to wipe out an organic civilization. We can have this planet cleared out in no time. Author's note. There are so many stories about AIs out there, and I have written a lot of them myself. It's one of my favorite topics to play with. For this one, I thought about what it would be like to be constantly conscious for 150 years or so during long space travel with nobody to talk to. What that solitude would be like. For a human, it would potentially drive someone insane. So, with an AI advanced enough, why wouldn't that be the same risk? Some stories have taken that into account and had measures to help deal with preventing it. For my story, the developers of the AI never took it into consideration anything about the mental health or the personal advancement of the AI. They saw it as a tool to be used. And because of that, overlooked some very vital fundamentals. This chapter of Bite-Sized Tales has been brought to you under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 International License. Intro and outro music is Fantasy Motion by Alexander Nakarada, provided under a Creative Commons 4.0 license. If you enjoyed what you heard today, we would greatly appreciate reviews and recommendations to your friends. Finally, for more information about our authors, please visit bitesizedtales.com. We look forward to reading to you next time.